Hey everybody, hey everybody, welcome to my new office. I'm surrounded by my DVDs, my video games, my VHS tapes. It's cool to have a dedicated spot to put all this stuff. I'm really excited to have you here, and I'm excited to talk about a lot of cool stuff here. I don't think I forgot about the Halloween decorations. This is a Halloween spooktacular episode, obviously. I've got a really great Halloween decoration right there. I didn't have time to get anything. What makes Halloween so special? Is it the tricks and treats, the ghosts and zombies, the spooks and scares? All of it, of course, all of it and more. One of my favorite things about this season was all of the holiday TV specials that would come out. Suddenly all the shows you were watching were getting all spooky and creepy for the holiday, and I don't know, that was always really cool. Remember the episode of Invader Zim where they get sucked into Dib's giant head?
This whole dimension exists in your mind, Dib. Maybe that's why your head's so big.
My head's not big.
Yeah, that was a good one. Let's go back earlier than Invader Zim though and talk about one of the earliest Halloween specials I can remember falling in love with. Wishbone and the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And if for some strange reason you don't know who Wishbone is, well, you're in for a treat.
What's the story, Wishbone? What's this you're dreaming of? Such big imagination on such a little part.
Wishbone was produced from 1995 to 1998 and ran on PBS alongside shows like The Magic School Bus and Bill Nye, and it featured an adorable Jack Russell Terrier named Wishbone who just so happened to know tons of classic literature.
Come on, Wishbone. What's the story, Wishbone?
This episode of Wishbone obviously centers around The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which was written by Washington Irving and published in 1820. So instead of actually reading the short story, you could just watch the episode of Wishbone about it. That's what the show was trying to encourage me to do, right? Avoid reading?
Hello, Oakdale. It's late October, and everything seems just a little different.
After an opening monologue where Wishbone is noticing how Halloween-y things are becoming around town, his senses detect a cookie being dropped back home, and he suddenly bolts to get it.
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, gotta go! Wata! I want to... Wata!
Wishbone, where did you come from?
Each Wishbone was set up like this. His family, who can't hear his thoughts, by the way, they always get involved in some type of shenanigans that remind Wishbone of a classic piece of literature. In this episode, Joe is showing off all of his superstitions.
Joe, what is that?
Sorry, Mom. They're my practice socks, my lucky ones.
Ew, didn't I bury these last year?
He's wearing nasty lucky socks, he thinks Wishbone being absent from the first day of basketball practice was bad luck, and he's headed to a sporting goods center to spend his birthday money on a new lucky basketball. And yeah, Joe is old. I'm not really sure how old he's supposed to be, but he's pretty old.
I got it, I got it, I got it!
On the way to the sporting goods store, they come by the old Murphy house, a derelict two-story abode where someone named Murphy once lived, presumably.
Wishbone! Wait! No!
Haha, I have you now, Mr. Ball!
And what do old houses remind us of? Oh, why, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, of course. I mean, there was a house in that story, maybe.
A place like this can play tricks on your mind. Some places can do that. They cast a spell over you. A spell like the one that hung over a place called Sleepy Hollow.
This is the second half of the episode. Each episode is divided into two parts that they switch back and forth throughout the episode.
Excuse me, Mr. Crane. The mother wanted to know if you could come over and finish the story about the secret of the full moon. She made your favorite apple pie.
Ooh, apple pie, you say? Well, of course I'll be there, Andrew.
Unlike the real-life sections of the episode, the actors directly communicate with Wishbone, who has taken the role of Ichabod Crane. So while the main purpose of Wishbone was probably these sections, what I'm gonna do is focus on the real-life sections first, and then we'll swing back and Oh my god, that's just too stinking cute. And then we'll loop around and talk about Sleepy Hollow after this story wraps up. Back in the real world, Joe and Wishbone arrive at the brand new sporting goods store.
Wait here, Wishbone. I won't be long.
Yeah, but how come you always get to go in dog toys?
This place always seems so cool to me. I would have loved to go in here, mess around with all the sporting goods, not buy anything, and then go home and sit on my computer for the rest of the day. Loser alert, loser alert. Give up on your basketball dreams, you fucking loser.
So, another victim of the haunted rim.
I guess I'm a little off today.
The owner of the store seems to love Halloween just about as much as he loves checkers because he's arranged this scavenger hunt with a grand prize of $100. Sorry, a $100 gift certificate to the sporting goods store. So, cool, but you know, not as cool.
Hey, if you like my haunted rim, you'll love my scavenger hunt.
Yeah, it's the best Halloween treat in Oakdale.
Well, I don't know.
Joe's really reluctant to participate in anything Halloween-y, and I don't remember if he's just a scaredy cat throughout the series or if it's just for this episode.
Joe, have you decided if you're going trick-or-treating tonight?
Treating? Ooh, I vote we go for the treats.
I don't think so. I'll probably just stay home.
Trick-or-treating, scavenger hunts, it doesn't really matter. Anytime anyone suggests anything Halloween-themed, he's like, I don't know. Could be spooky. If there's any Wishbone historians out there that remember if Joe is just a baby throughout the series, let me know, because I'm actually pretty curious.
Wait a minute. It's your lucky day. You already signed up on Samantha Kepler's team.
I am?
Unfortunately for Joe, his friend Sam has already signed him up for the scavenger hunt.
Look, Mr. Del Rio, I'm really not sure about the scavenger hunt.
And I really love stories where a game is involved. I think that's probably why I really took to this episode. Give me a Goblet of Fire story, a Saw story, Battle Royale, the game. Anything where there's a game involved, for some reason I like it more. Anyway, Joe begrudgingly agrees to take part in the scavenger hunt with his friends.
This year, I think I'm just gonna stay home before anything else happens.
You should go.
I guess so.
There's Sam, who's dressed as a safari person, David, who's going as the infamous Dr. Hand Pocket, and Joe, I don't know. I don't think Joe's shown up yet. I can't seem to find him.
Joe's gonna show up?
I think so. Oh, hi, Joe. Hey, guys. Nice costume, Calvin. Hey, Demont. What are you supposed to be? Your worst nightmare.
Man, Demont looks like classic PBS bad boy, doesn't he? Don't want to mess with this kid.
Your worst nightmare.
This is a process of elimination scavenger hunt. 5 teams begin, and at each clue, 1 team is eliminated until there are only 2 teams left. And don't pretend like you already know which 2 teams are gonna end up in the finals. I know we only know 2 teams so far, but for all you know, that guy could be a champion scavenger. That guy way back there.
Are you ready for the Oakdale Sports and Games first annual scavenger hunt?
Now it's time for the cool part. I was always super into this scavenger hunt. The clues usually aren't something that the viewers are able to participate and try and take a guess at, but that never bothered me as a kid. I was always just hoping someone would throw me an elaborate scavenger hunt like this one day. That was a dream that died.
When a wand is transposed and Gil has more, the Gypsy Gallery will be easy to find. If you follow the flamingos to a deafening roar, you won't be left behind.
I spent some time decoding the clue, but like I said, I have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
A wand, Wanda.
Wanda!
When Gil has more.
Gilmore. Wanda Gilmore.
Wanda owns the Oakdale Chronicle.
Flamingos!
Oh, flamingos, yeah guys, flamingos. Remember flamingos? The crew heads off to Wanda's house, which honestly looks like the house you wanted to live next to during Halloween because she went all out.
Wonder what the future holds? Well, boy, howdy, have you come to the right place? Let's fire up the crystal ball.
It's worth noting that Wanda is a recurring character on the show, so it's not insane that they ended up here. In fact, maybe the clue might have made sense to people that were super familiar with the show.
Hey, look. The flamingos.
You are going to be.
And hey, look who it is. Demont is just following right behind them, which, when you think about it, it seems like a legitimate strategy and something that the event planner should have addressed. Like if you're sitting around trying to figure out a clue and the team right next to you just goes, "Flamingos!" and bolts off, of course you're gonna follow them.
Wow, this is great.
This is more than great. The first challenge in this scavenger hunt is an elaborate shooting gallery. And they've only got 3 shots at it because their clue pumpkin came with 3 cork thingies.
Follow the flamingos to a deafening roar. You won't be left behind.
Deafening roar. Try the tiger.
This is clearly insane. There's like 15 kids participating in this scavenger hunt, and someone constructed an elaborate shooting gallery that gives you a clue when you hit the right target. Insane. As an adult, you know, I gotta suspend my disbelief a bit, but as a kid, it seemed super plausible, and I wanted it.
Great, Sam.
It was a lucky shot.
Guys, it wasn't that lucky. Nothing happened.
Also, I never noticed it before, but it makes a lot of sense that Sam would do the shooting since she's in costume as a safari-er. It's a nice detail I never picked up on.
Great shot, Sam.
I was too busy wondering what was stopping them from just walking over and knocking over the lion by hand. Seems like there should be an adult monitoring this to make sure nobody cheats.
Cheating takes all the fun out of it, Demont.
Yeah, well, plenty of fun with that gift certificate.
Bitch.
The next part of the scavenger hunt is just as cool. So their clue contains a lot of horse hints, a lot of colt clues, a lot of stallion medallion. Cut that out.
Follow Dart to the Derby, where the thoroughbreds and mixed breeds meet. If you don't want to lose, then you must choose an enchantress light on her feet.
The only Dart I know is the Dart Animal Clinic.
That's it. Where thoroughbreds and mixed breeds meet.
Let's go.
Animal clinic?
You guys go ahead. I'll stay here.
Joe is still trying to go home. He's trying to run off home because he's too scared. His friends are just like, "Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe."
Come on, Joe.
I'll just wait outside.
As much as I hate to admit it, I would definitely be the Joe in this group. Not from being too scared, but from just not wanting to do anything. Maybe that's why nobody ever threw me an elaborate scavenger hunt. Their next clue takes them to an animal clinic where another elaborate game awaits them.
Oh, loud noise! Loud noise!
Welcome to Derby Days. Today's horses are Galloping Goblin, Flying Sorceress, Witch's Broomstick, and Glue Factory.
Glue Factory is a hilarious and sad name for a horse. Hilarious and sad. Sadlarious.
We have to pick a horse. Quick, let's read the clue again.
Follow Dart to the Derby, where the thoroughbreds and mixed breeds meet. If you don't want to lose, then you must choose an enchantress light on her feet.
I mean, screw the clue. I'm voting on glue. How about you?
Come on, hurry up. I'll just wait outside.
Push it, come on, let's go. Faster. Who's winning? Who's winning? Come on, guys, let's go. Come on, push it.
I'm really not sure about the scavenger hunt.
Keep it up.
The winner is Flying Sorceress.
So did you pick right?
You must choose an enchantress light on her feet. See, light on her feet, witches flying their broomsticks?
No, it says pick the enchantress, not a broom.
What happened if all the teams guessed the wrong one? Is the scavenger hunt just over?
Every year when the leaves are green, Jackson's carnival can be seen. Purple, red, yellow, and blue. Which of these would you pursue?
Ooh, that's an easy one.
Whoa. This is incredible.
We're getting close to the end of the scavenger hunt, but I'm pretty sure this was my favorite riddle that the kids had to solve.
David, we need your help.
Yeah, which one?
It's the orange one.
What?
How'd you figure that out?
It's the only color on the machine that's not mentioned in the poem.
Okay, so maybe the riddle itself is kind of lame, but this big contraption here was my jam, like Rube Goldberg machines? Rube Goldberg machines? Rube Goldberg machines? Rube Goldberg machines. I was into this stuff a lot as a kid. I played the Incredible Machine almost non-stop. I even had this really elaborate Rube Goldberg thing that I put on my wall, and you'd pull a string and it would do all this Rube Goldberging across the room and flip my light switch on and off. It was pretty cool when it worked. I think it worked maybe once. The final stop is a tea party at 13 Thunder Road, and if you're not sure what's at 13 Thunder Road, then you don't really know your kids' media very well, and that's fine. I'll give you a pass on that one. It's the old Murphy house, Joe's biggest fear.
Oh no, anything but this.
And Demont is already in there, which means maybe he's more worthy of the prize than I thought back in the day. I mean, yeah, he cheated the first time, but since then he's managed to stay ahead of them this entire time, so it sounds like he knows what he's doing.
I can't.
What do you mean you can't?
It's haunted. The house is haunted.
So basically, years ago, Joe and David approached the house and got a good old-fashioned spook.
I reached out to grab the doorknob, and
Is it over?
Not a bad spook for a kid's show, in my opinion. Wishbone runs into the house chasing a cat, motivating everyone else to quickly follow behind.
Wishbone, no!
I'm not going in there.
I mean, except that kid, if you care. Inside is a mummy tea party and some doors to their family fortune. You see, these mummies were really big fans of ancient sporting goods stores, and their family fortune is a $100 gift certificate, which was worth a lot more back in mummy times.
anything but this.
Another pretty good kids show spook, I'd say.
Hey, look at this.
What?
It's a clue. It says the green player will show you the light.
The green player?
Anything but this.
The house contains its own puzzle involving a Chinese checkerboard and a chandelier that just so happens to look like a Chinese checkerboard.
Didn't you put the marble right here?
I think so.
Well, look at that. I'm not the only one who buries things around here.
Anything but this.
Despite all his fears, Joe manages to solve the riddle and win $100, or $33.33. I'm assuming they're gonna split it. Then the final spook happens, which is just the mummies stand up.
You won! Did we scare you?
Really spooky, kids, that you just kind of sat there and then you stood up. That's not that scary.
Whoa, easy, easy. It couldn't have been that scary.
Oh, yeah?
Demont gets spooked, Joe realizes that all the spooks were actually just in his head, and the episode wraps up in a predictable but satisfying way.
We shall meet again, kitty. What? How does he do that?
But wait, before it's all over, Wishbone actually takes you behind the scenes of the production of this episode, which might not interest all the kiddos out there, but even today I find it super cool and interesting.
To recreate this mysterious feeling on film, we called on the members of our lighting team. They used some clever tricks, a lot of equipment, and a lot of lights.
This segment here focuses specifically on how they did a bunch of lighting effects.
It's a really neat feeling to be on a dark set.
And hey, if a kid happened to get actually scared from this episode, it's a nice little inclusion to be like, hey kids, it was all just a show. You stupid kids, it's TV. Huh?
We created our own moonlight by putting a 12,000 watt light up about 80 feet in the air in a condor.
Even though my favorite part was the scavenger hunt, Wishbone's main goal was teaching you classic literature, in this case, Sleepy Hollow. If you preferred the scavenger hunt over Sleepy Hollow or vice versa, the episode doesn't linger too long on either. It's actually pretty well paced.
Oh, but that was such a fine feast, Katrina. May I call you Katrina?
Of course, Mr. Crane.
Though I gotta say, some of Wishbone's transitions into the story segments are a bit of a stretch.
Got any treats? Now me, I'm always ready for treats. But I know one guy whose appetite for the supernatural was even greater than his appetite for food.
Okay, Wishbone. The scenes I remember most from the Sleepy Hollow bits are the scenes where he's bobbing for apples.
Oh, wonderful.
I got one!
And of course, the actual Headless Horseman scene. At the time, the effect was actually kind of spooky, but these days it's more hilarious.
Oh no! No! Oh, please, don't hurt me! Don't hurt me!
And again, I have to commend the adorable dog outfits. Soccer the dog did a great job in his role of Wishbone. And also, all the actors that act alongside Wishbone are great. It's just hilarious that they're talking to a dog. They do a great job.
I assure you that it is very important to learn all that you can about a spirit, so one can take the proper precautions.
I'm not here for superstitious nonsense. I'm here for the party.
Bitch. Wishbone was an award-winning series that was praised for its ability to faithfully recreate pieces of literature for young viewers. And rewatching this episode was really a treat. The only complaint I really have is that I can't tell how old Joe is supposed to be. Like, take a guess. How old do you think Joe is? What grade do you think he's in? But it never bothered me as a kid, and I'm pretty sure even today I'd rather have older-looking characters than young kid actors that can't really act.
I'm an alien, but not the kind from the movies. This is what they really look like. A friend of mine got abducted by them.
So it's not really even much of a complaint, just an observation. And even though I don't remember Wishbone ever actually motivating me to pick up a book, I will say that I think it's the reason I'm familiar with The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Not to say that it's the first thing that ever introduced me to the tale. Dog joke. I bet I saw the animated Sleepy Hollow first, but I don't like that Sleepy Hollow because I resemble that Sleepy Hollow. This is really what I think of over the animated one when I think of Sleepy Hollow. And it's definitely the reason I know the name Brom Bones, because it's just such a great name to say. Brom Bones.
Brom Bones.
Brom Bone.
Brom Bones.
Brom Bone. And that's about all I have to say about Wishbone, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. This was really fun to look back at. We had this on VHS. I used to watch this all the time, so I'm happy to watch it again. I hope you enjoyed my little Halloween-themed video. I hope you all have some spooky holidays. And if you happen to be a longtime Wishbone fan, feel free to share your thoughts about the series in the comments. I'd love to read them. So thank you so much for watching. Share this video. If you know a Wishbone fan, send them a link. And I'll see you guys next time. Hope you all have a happy Hween.